So, content to cash, the only types of content that you need to be creating if you actually want to start writing your own paychecks through the content that you're creating. And mind you, this is where I'm going to differ from a lot of people that you see online. But if you haven't picked it up by now, I'm not about feeding you guys hot garbage in hopes to pad my pockets. I want everybody to have a life-changing brand of their own. I want you guys to have success. And this is going to be a very important one. You got so many people out there who are just going to tell you to just model viral videos, copy trends, copy everybody else. And I'm going to tell you right now is if you operate your entire business this way, you're going to get results like everybody else. Which the reality is a lot of people get stuck because they end up just copying everybody. They model everybody. And the thing is you don't know if who you're modeling is actually working, right? You could go model a viral video that's not making any money, right? Or making any sales, right? I'm all about teaching people to build personal brands, right? So the number one, it's in the title, personal, you, right? Yourself. And when you operate your business this way, there is absolutely zero competition because nobody is you, right? Let's dive in. So the biggest thing, if you become a carbon copy of everybody else online, you will get stuck like the masses online. The biggest thing I want to encourage everybody to do is be yourself, right? You don't have to create this fictitious character to be online, right? You want to build real relationships with people through the content you're creating, through the conversations you're having. And the biggest thing that's going to do that is just being you, right? If I'm operating my business in a different way in my content and in these videos, and then someone finds out that I'm a completely different way when I sell them something, it's a recipe for disaster, right? You inject you and yourself into your content, your humor, your personality, lessons, experiences, right? We all have different backgrounds. We've all been through different things. We've all have different views and perceptions on the world, right? Share that shit. Be yourself. I know it sounds super generic, but be you, right? This is a big thing for building deep connections with people, which is a key element to selling anything to anybody. You have to have a connection. They have to know you. They have to like you. They have to trust you, right? And you're not going to do that by looking like everybody else. People's walls are already 100 feet high because they got all this bullshit on the internet right now. So, most importantly, why? Because no matter what you're doing in this online world, whether you're selling dump trucks, dildos, or digital courses, through the power of content creation, you're selling yourself, right? It doesn't matter what product you're selling. You are literally selling you. You're building a connection through the content you're creating, and you're monetizing that connection, right? You're making money from that connection being built. This is how I've been able to sell dozens of affiliate products. I did over 100K last year with affiliate products, a plethora of different products, right? Because I'm selling me, right? My goofy self that lives in the Pacific Northwest, my stories, my experiences. I'm just building connections through content, and I'm monetizing with affiliate products. Same thing for you. The connections that you're building is what will make having $1,000 days regularly, right? It's going to be an easy thing. It's going to happen, right? We've done almost $1,000 every single day of 2022, right? Through the power of building genuine connections, right? And another thing, right, is the number of people you will repel by being yourself, right? I cuss, I have an inappropriate humor, right? It's a good thing. It is, you don't want clients that you don't vibe with or you don't connect with, right? Like that's one of the biggest things and biggest lessons I learned over the years being in this space. Just be yourself in your content and your messaging in the way that you interact with people, because it makes the clients that you're working with and the people you're selling products to, you guys actually enjoy being around each other. You enjoy talking, right? That's all it is. So why you're posting content? To build the connections. Without your prospects feeling like they know you, trust you, and like you, they will not buy from you. People buy from brands and companies that they know, right? No different from you going to the store and buying a specific brand of clothing or food because you like that brand, you trust that brand, right? You like the taste of that food, right? You're literally just selling yourself and building that connection through the content you're creating. The pre-sale. This is another reason you're posting content to pre-sell on your offers, your beliefs, the strategies you're leveraging, your brand as a whole. And what I mean by pre-selling is you are creating intrigue to you, to the products you're offering. If you notice in a lot of my content, I'll talk about group growth. I'll talk about, starting your online business as a complete beginner. Well, I have a couple products that I sell. Group Juice is our full-fledged program. And then we have our 5-day virtual event, Juice Box, right? Which is taking people from complete beginners to arming them with the skills to actually start making money online, right? Plant seeds, right? This is a really good analogy I like to talk about all the time, is like your online business is like planting a fruit tree, right? And what I mean by planting seeds is if you're posting content consistently, you're having conversations consistently, over prolonged periods of time, all these seeds that you've planted are going to turn into fruit trees with fruit that you can harvest. And what I mean by harvesting fruit is money, right? Most of the people that I'm selling to today are not people that I started talking to today, right? They are somebody I had a conversation with 90 days ago. They've been seeing my content for 90 days, and then they buy a $5,000 offer, right? That's the power of planting seeds, right? That's if you can nail this, your business will be miles ahead of the vast majority of people, because they're not thinking like this. They're thinking about how can they make money as fast as possible, and then they burn out because it doesn't happen. So here's a bit of a breakdown of some long-form content structure. An eye-catching headline, right? This is going to help people stop the scroll so they consume your content. An example, here's how I had an $11,000 day of a Facebook group of 43 people. Yes, that's a real story. Lead into an ongoing problem, mutual frustration, not generating high quality leads. Talk about how it was when you were dealing with this problem, right? How you felt. What is it about that frustrated you? What did that frustrated cause in your life or your business, right? An example of this, and I know what a lot of people are probably thinking is like, I'm just starting my online business. I don't have any of these backstories. And you do, right? If you work a job, maybe you have kids, right? And you feel like your job is robbing you from the time with your children. There's so many different ways that you could do this, right? And talking about a mutual frustration is going to connect you with other people, because there's other people that are feeling that way as well, right? So backstory, right? And this is another one that I talked about earlier, right? Nobody has your unique story, right? And sharing your story and things that's went on in your life, what's led you to coming into this group or looking to start an online business, it's going to build a connection with somebody, right? Because there's other people who feel that same way, right? Similar backstories. Maybe they have went through the same things, struggles, setbacks, right? You'll hear me talk about it all the time, right? I'm a convicted felon. I'm an ex-drug addict. To going to build a multiple six-figure business online, right? A couple years ago, I had no idea what any of this was, right? I literally worked a blue-collar job for minimum wage, and here I am, leveraging the power of the internet to have done multiple six figures online, and our clients are absolutely crushing it. What you found to work, leading into your offer, right? Talking about things that are working and things that you're doing that are helping you grow. Whether that's in your business, in your life, this could be anything, right? We're talking about like how, leveraging the power of Facebook groups really exploded my business, right? I struggled for a really long time. I've done this a few times throughout these trainings, right? I'm talking about what worked for me, Facebook. That's where my business exploded, right? And what's even cooler than that, and as a lot of our clients are actually exploding their businesses with the exact strategies we're teaching as well. Right? We've had something crazy like 10 students do $10,000 profit in their own business with their own offers, with their own products in the last 120 days, right? Absolutely insane. Results, benefits of discovering this method. So that's kind of just what I broke down right before this, right? And you don't need to have monetary results, right? I like to talk about this all the time, is if you don't have monetary results, you haven't made sales, that's okay. Right? You can still connect with people by sharing actual non-monetary things that are going on that are cool in your life, in your business. You know, I grew my TikTok following by 100 people. I grew my Facebook group by 10 people, right? I posted my first piece of content. I got on camera, even though it made me nervous, right? All those types of things. You should share all of it, right? Call to actions. That's the way you wrap up your posts, right? If you want information on our 5-day virtual event, Juicebox, so you can learn how to actually write your own paychecks through the free content you're creating, drop a hashtag Juicebox below. That's an example of a call to action. They don't have to be for specific pitches or for your offer. It could literally just be asking for engagement. So that's the post, long form content structure, right? I would encourage any of you guys to look at any of the pieces of content I'm putting in my group. I put out content daily in my group. I have been for a couple of years now. Look at the content. This is the exact way I'm structuring my posts, right? Long content does a really good job at building connections. A good analogy or a good example is you could look at it like it has the ability to clone yourself, right? You're building relationships with people at scale. You're building relationships with a plethora of people at one time, right? So go pain and solution focused, right? This is a big one. This is a huge one, actually, right? You're selling a diet plan. You're not creating content about how someone's life sucks because they're overweight, right? You're painting a picture as to how they would feel once they've lost weight, right? That's a pain and solution focused. They feel like they're overweight, but the feeling of being healthy is what you're selling. You're not telling them that their diet's shit because they're eating bad, right? You're in the high ticket affiliate marketing space, right? You're not telling people how shitty their life is because they're not willing to invest in themselves. You're revealing the actual benefit of investing into something and what it's costing them not to, right? That's a big one that's going on right now. And everybody's talking about how you need to invest, you need to get a mentor. Like, what is that going to do for somebody, right? Nobody gives a shit that their life is trash because they didn't invest in your $5,000 offer, right? What are they going to get from that, right? And I talked about that earlier, how I've personally invested $40,000 in courses, coaching, consulting, but that's yielded skills that I have for life, right? I'm able to have $1,000 days almost daily, regularly through those skills. That's the power of investing. Not telling somebody that their life sucks because they won't buy your product. Just FYI. Anchor in your own stories, experiences. Everyone has a unique angle and experience they went through, right? Ultimately, making this whole "it's too saturated to get started" a thing of the past, because there is nobody that's you besides you. Right? Competition will no longer be a thing because you're literally just competing with a previous version of yourself. Content, right? Get better at making content and creating it, right? And I want to let this known. I know I did talk about this yesterday. It's not going to be easy when you first start, but it is going to be the biggest thing you can and always will be able to improve on that has a direct impact on how much you make, right? The content you're creating has the ability to build relationships with plethora of people at once at scale. And when you do this over prolonged periods of time, it becomes extremely powerful, right? You get good at creating content that connects with people, sales will become easy. And the sales process will become extremely short if you can get good at creating long form written or video content. That's a reality of it. One of the biggest perspective shifts that I had about content, that each piece of content that I put out onto the internet is like a little mini piece of real estate that has the ability to turn into cash for years to come, right? Everybody who comes into your world and consumes your content will be at different stages, and over prolonged periods of time, it stacks. You know, the content you put out 2 weeks ago is tipping people to buy today, and so on and so forth. The number of conversations that I get almost daily that are like, hey man, I've been consuming your content for like 6 weeks. I'm ready to buy, right? And I sell them $1,000 to $5,000 offer relatively quickly and easily just because of the content that they've been consuming, because I'm building connections. I'm actually sharing my story, my experiences. I'm providing value to my audience, right? That's the power of your content, right? So homework for today. This is going to be a hard one for most, right? And I really want you guys to do this because it's going to be life-changing. It's going to really help you in the long run. Create a piece of long-form written content, right? And I'm not saying it has to be like a romance novel or 1,000 words. It doesn't have to be perfect, pretty, or polished. Just do it. Post something. Write a piece of content and share some of your story. Share about what you're doing. Talk about what I'm talking about in this training, right? If you're not in the same niche or industry as me, or you don't know what you're doing yet, just talk about being open to the idea of starting an online business, right? Just post it, right? Post it publicly on your profile, something like that, and then take a screenshot and post it in the group. I'd love to see the content that you put out, right? Don't overthink it. It's probably not going to be pretty, but you'll thank me later. So I'll see you guys tomorrow and have a killer one.